Happy Sunday and Happy New Year. Good morning, good afternoon. I'm your host, Tony Twist. This is ATW All Things Wrestling Podcast. First episode of the new year. Alex, Sports Mouth of the 313. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit tired, but I feel good. I'm good. Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. Too much drinking over for New Year's or what?
No, I did a little bit. You know, I stayed home. New Year's Eve, just listen to some music. I didn't, my daughter was gonna come over, but she decided to, just stay home, and she was like, "Dad, I'm just gonna go to sleep, probably even before midnight. So, I'll come over next week." So that was really all I was looking forward to was, spending some time with my daughter. Usually spend that with her on New Year's Eve. I don't go out no more. Those days are long gone
Too
in
old?
my life. So yeah, man, I can't take 3-4 days to recover when you do, when I would drink like that. And going into the new year, I got a whole different mindset, trying to be a lot healthier, get back working out and all that good stuff like that. Gave up drinking pop, keep it simple. I'm not trying to change the world with my resolutions, just a couple, little simple things. but
So
I
you're not saying New Year, new you? Is that
exactly.
what you're
Yeah.
Everyone
And
got
definitely excited about, we're kicking our first episode of the 2022 with an awesome guest, as everybody will see here in a second. But yeah,
so,
man. So
hold on. You got to tell everybody about your shirt because I'm the host.
so
You got to stand up because this week's
right. Okay, well, I'll look a little bit.
There we go.
So yeah, I got a shirt sent.
ATW.
Yeah, I got a shirt sent from our. Well, I guess we'll call him what? We'll call him the father.
Our parent podcast company.
Right.
Yeah.
He sent me a shirt. I thought you would be wearing one too. You know what I mean? I don't know, and we're all family here on our podcast. So I'll let everybody know, hey, that's your brother. I don't know how I got one. I'm the cousin. I don't know how I got one before you, but
it's cool.
I'll get on the phone. I'll get on the horn
right
after.
Yeah. Hook me up.
We'll figure it out
for our show. Yeah, hook me up with a
shirt. Right. Right.
So, anyways, 2022 first show of the New Year's is ATW All Things Wrestling Podcast. We are live on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch. Go to your neighbor's house, wherever you can to catch the show. So, Happy New Year to everybody. We have an amazing guest, our first guest of 2022. He is from MLW, Major League Wrestling, the champion, Alex Kane. I'm excited to bring Alex Kane in, and
yes,
no more talking. Let's just bring him in. Alex, good afternoon. Right? You're in New York?
No, I'm in Georgia. I'm in.
Shit. Okay, I thought you were. Okay.
Oh, okay. You kind of hit me a little hard there, Georgia Bulldogs. They kind of put a little whooping on my Wolverines. So, are you a college fan?
I have not been a college football fan for like 3 years.
Okay.
Once I started wrestling, I stopped watching like other sports. It's bad.
Right. Okay.
Hey man, just to back you up, I don't watch other sports either. I mean, I wrestling. Alex is the sports mouth of Detroit, so this guy is all sports, all everything, and I heard that Michigan got beat, but I ain't. We got the Pro Wrestling Podcast who just joined in the comments, and I know he's a big U of M fan, so he's probably sad as well. Anyways, man, we're here to talk about you, Alex Kane, champion, MLW.
Thank you for joining us, man. Taking the time.
Man, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, happy New Year, man. Love the logo in the back, and as you can see in our background, in honor of you, we got the MLW Fusion up on the green screen.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us all about you, man. You're recently crowned champion, right? In MLW.
Yeah. I won a 5-way ladder match at War Chamber to become the new national openweight champion. I don't know if you want to say beat or outlasted, but I like beat. I beat Alex Shelley, ACH, Myron Reed, and Zenchi to be crowned, the new guy at MLW. Like Hammerstone can be world champion, and that's cool, great, and awesome. But I'm going to become the guy at MLW.
Well,
For
I just
sure.
recently
Love
caught
it.
I just recently caught your match with Hammerstone, and man, I mean, you guys tore the house down. Now, I love your moniker, the Suplex Assassin.
Yes.
I'm a sucker for suplexes. I love suplexes. You know, all the guys going back to, Kurt Angle, Taz, all these guys that have always incorporated suplexes. I mean, there's a million different names for all different types of suplexes.
Right.
What is the suplex you are known for?
The mark of Cain. It is my
Okay.
finisher.
Ooh,
It looks like death.
that's fire right there, man.
I'm sure Alex likes that, right?
That's fire right there. Yeah, that's sweet, man. And you know what? Real quick, I was with my cousin, another cousin yesterday, and I, showed him your, went to Instagram, showed him your profile, and the first thing he said was, he kind of reminds me of Taz, and I was like, he couldn't get the name, and I was like, Taz, and he was like, yeah, just because of your build, and all your stature and all that. But I was like, yeah, I can kind of see that. I mean, hey, that's a compliment. In my opinion.
Most def.
But yeah.
I was doing a show one time in Ohio, and the commentary team was like, Alex Kane is this generation's Taz, and I was like,
wow.
I'm taking it. I am taking it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's definitely an honor. I mean, I'm a huge Taz fan going back to ECW days when Taz was just the man, and then
throwing everybody around.
Kind of a watered down version. He came over to WWE, but
yeah, they did him dirty in the E. They did him dirty.
Yeah.
So
hey, man, how long you been wrestling? Tell us how you got into the game. Who are some of your influences? Is Taz an influence of yours? What inspired you to get into become a pro wrestler?
So I've been wrestling for 3 years. I've always wanted to be a professional wrestler. It's literally like, I know a lot of people say this or whatever, and I guess sometimes it's a little cliche, but like this is literally all I've ever wanted to do with my life, like, is be a professional wrestler. And I've done things in my life to set myself up to be a professional wrestler with the collegiate sports and all the different sports that I played, all the different contact sports that I played. But I started wrestling in May of 2018, and I started at the WWA4 in Atlanta, Georgia, under the tutelage of AR Fox, the motherfucking man. And he helped mold me into the man I am today, as far as a wrestler goes. It's weird. When I first started wrestling, I knew of Taz, and I knew that he threw suplexes and stuff, but I didn't know Taz. I didn't know Taz in ECW. I didn't know he was the monster he was in ECW. I had no idea when I first started. So in the beginning, he wasn't the influence. Brock Lesnar, Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley were kind of my influences first starting. But as time went on, and I was trying to separate myself from being another Brock Lesnar, I started watching more of Taz. And it wasn't I'm just gonna do what Taz is doing. I'm I have an amateur background. I'm a shooter.
Right.
I literally started my collegiate wrestling career at a freestyle Greco camp.
Oh wow, almost similar to Taz.
Yeah. So I was if anything, power moves and suplexes are gonna be in my arsenal. That's what I want to do. So that's what I ran with, and it's working. So that can't be too mad.
Well, that's awesome, man. It sounds like you kind of hit the ground running, just a couple years in the game, and already champion over at MLW and wrestling some really big names. What's 2022 looking like for you, man? What's in store? You got any shows coming up? Anything you want to promote? Where are you going to be?
The MLW in Dallas, January 21st. I can't remember. Is it the Gilly? I can't remember the name of the place, but it's really historic, and someone's probably going to burn me for that. But
good, man.
It's going to be my first time wrestling in Texas, which would be really, really cool.
Oh, wow.
And I'm extremely excited for that. And then February, in February, we are going to Charlotte. I think it's February 26th or 28th. What day is it? We'll see. I have a calendar. And nobody can fault me for not remembering everything. It is February 26th. We're going to Charlotte, super fight. And on both on the January date and on the February date, I plan to be dominant. And I'm gonna show the world why I am the national openweight champion. Why I will be the guy in MLW.
Well, you just brought up you're going to Texas. We just had on a couple weeks ago Sammy Kiss from Wildcat Sports. He's the commentator out there and doing all kinds of things. Texas. It looks like the independent wrestling scene in Texas is just on fire. There's just shows, just show after show all over Texas, from West Texas to East Texas to Dallas, all over the place. So that's going to be exciting, man. There are a lot of big wrestlers out of Texas right now. Is there anybody that you are really looking forward to wrestling this year, or somebody like, man, I really want to go at it with so and so or this or that?
Man, I want to wrestle Vinny Pacifico. And like before I even started wrestling, for some reason he followed me on my my personal Instagram page. And I don't know why, because I had nothing like wrestling on there. But like he's always been like a pretty cool dude to me, and like I've actually gotten to meet him I guess last year. So like, I mean, that's a match I want, definitely. I want to wrestle Brian Keith again. I wrestled him during WrestleMania weekend for the Big Starks brand showcase. Mysterious Q would be another good match for me to have. I want to wrestle Davey Richards, and it better happen this year, or else I'm suplexing somebody's grandma. Man, I hope I get to wrestle Josh Alexander this year. I was supposed to wrestle him last year, but the show that we were going to wrestle on got canceled, so hopefully I get to work him. Masha Slamovich. Pretty much, I think the indie movement, indie movement put out a top. I don't know if they put. I don't know. It might have been the top 5 or top 6, something like that. But like breakout stars of 2021,
right?
And everybody on that list. I think Alec Price is on that list. Masha's on that list. Jordan Blade's on that list. I think there's a few other people on that list. But everybody on that list, I want to wrestle in 2022.
He's got a little checklist. Like, hey, all right,
this is a checklist. Force supremacy.
I do like going through the division.
Yeah.
This is kind of a controversial thing right now. There's a lot of talk about this, and I don't know if you caught wind of it. But we'll lead back up into this in a second. But looking at your Instagram, you said, hey, I'd like to wrestle more black talent in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
Last week we had on Kenny from the Call Up podcast, and he's out in New York. And we had talked about this subject last week. 2021, in my opinion, and I don't know what you think, but I think in 2021, we saw more black talent and people of color, Latinos, all becoming champs. You had Bobby Lashley finally becoming WWE champ. Bianca Belair, Big E. We'll go over that in a second, how he got robbed last night. But then you got Moose, you got, Grisham, yourself. I mean, all across the board, it looks like maybe one of the best years, maybe ever, for like people of color actually becoming world champs.
Yeah, I definitely feel like last year was definitely a renaissance in a way, like at all levels of wrestling, and I do hope that it continues into 2022. But these companies, they drop the ball sometimes, or they don't book like. Big E was. I feel like Big E definitely should have held on to the belt longer than he did. Because like he has that great like crossover like potential. Like I could definitely see him. Like I could definitely see him doing movies and stuff. But he definitely has like great crossover potential. And like they could have booked him way better. They could have booked him way better. Like his reign was not as epic as it could have been. Like Kofi's reign, like the build up to Kofi's reign was epic, and they should have kept the epicness going. Like they literally do this for everybody else. Like Roman is great, love Roman Reigns or whatever, but his like if they would have booked Roman, they would have booked Roman like they booked Big E on his run, like. Yeah, people would have been mad or whatever because Roman's such a strong character. Big E's such a strong character, and like a lot of people want to say, "Oh, well, you know, he's funny, he's this and third." The Rock was funny. The Rock was downright hilarious. Anytime he had a mic in his hand, whether he was like belittling you or he was just genuinely just being funny. Like I don't think being funny is a reason to book somebody terribly. Like
if you're money, you're money. I mean,
you're money. Like Big E is literally Vince McMahon's like favorite kind of wrestler. Like he's big, he's tall, he's jacked. Like I don't know what the disconnect is or what the problem is.
And you know what? I just wanted to touch on this. Like you said, he has such crossover. He's a talent. He can cross over, and I'm mentioned earlier. I'm a big sports fan. I'm a huge boxing fan. I mean, he was introducing some of the boxers, and just he's been everywhere. He had a hell of a 2021 year, and you would think, Vince McMahon calling all the shots and being this genius, this billionaire genius, whatever you want to call it or call him, that he would market this guy a lot better for the sake of the company and him, you know what I mean? So like, I agree with everything you just said.
I feel like they're doing everything to prop up Roman, which in a way, the Universal Championship being, I kind of see, like the WWE Championship is definitely the top championship in my mind, but I think they're trying to make the Universal Championship the top championship, and they're doing everything they possibly can to prop up Roman. But you can prop up two guys at the same time. It doesn't have to be just one dude. It can be both of them.
There's enough room for that.
There's enough room for everybody to eat. No matter what anybody thinks or says, there's enough room for everybody to eat. They need to start booking, because they booked Bobby Lashley pretty well. They booked him pretty well, and I think they booked him pretty well because he's a heel. But they need to learn how to book babyface champions is what they need.
Right. Well, I think the rumor that I've been reading and what I'm hearing is they want to unify the world championships. And I think last night or yesterday when they pulled Roman from the card, I knew immediately when Brock Lesnar got announced for that match that he was winning. I was like, I called it. I was like, Big E's getting screwed tonight because before Lesnar got put into that match, I really thought by Big E taking on three other guys in a four-way, whatever the hell they want to call it, fatal four-way dance, whatever. Yeah. Big E could have definitely been elevated by beating all three of those guys. That would have just pushed him up as like, okay, he's a legitimate world champion. He takes out three other guys, Lashley, Rollins, Owens. He goes over. He gets his status is bumped up that much. But I think in a way, I mean, I'm sure Big E knew as soon as that Lesnar got thrown in that match, he's like, well, I guess I'm dropping the belt tonight.
Man, he probably knew that.
The date when he woke up.
When he woke up, he was like, man, some bullshit about to happen today. I can already feel it. I can feel it in my soul.
So anyway,
his feet touch the ground, right?
Going back to the topic about people of color, Tony Khan, I don't know if you caught wind of this, Alex. Tony Khan is getting heat from Big Swole. Big Swole kind of calling them AEW out, saying that, they're not being diverse, people of color being held back. Tony Khan firing back, like, we're a pretty diverse roster. And, the people in charge are, he's saying, I'm a person of color, and other people in charge in AEW. There's a lot of mixed feelings about this in AEW, especially because all their champions, they're all white. So it's like, You know, and then I feel I hold on real quick.
Go ahead.
I think as people of color, I think women haven't progressed to the point where men are yet. Because look at Bianca Belair. She had a huge push to the fucking moon and then gets squashed by Becky Lynch in 8 seconds. So it's like for women of color, they're not. I don't think they're there yet in professional wrestling. So Big Swole, she might have a legit beef here, legit argument, but I think AEW can come across as maybe a little bit more diverse than WWE. I don't know, Alex Kane. What are your thoughts on this?
Big Swole was definitely valid in what she said. Like, no, she was no doubt valid in what she said. And I don't think a lot of people really read the article or really listened to what she was saying. Because I see a lot of people on Twitter talking about, oh, Big Swole can't wrestle this and third or whatever. Big Swole can definitely wrestle because if Big Swole wasn't good, Tony Khan wouldn't have signed her in the first place.
Right.
Tony Khan wouldn't have said that she was a good wrestler in the first place. Okay, so the comment that he made a few nights was a night or two ago or whatever. That was him being petty, and that was him having his feelings hurt or whatever. And you know, you do what you do. We're all human. But she was what she. I'm just gonna read. I just want to read what I sent to one of my friends.
Go ahead.
This is what I want to talk about, man. We gotta get into the
She wasn't complaining about her spot. She was standing up for the women who don't get a lot of time on TV, and she was speaking up for how there isn't much diversity on the creative side of things. That is what she said. She said that there wasn't a lot of diversity on the creative side of things. What there isn't. If it's just Tony Khan, Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega, and I'm gonna assume the
Bryan Danielson
running the show creatively or whatever, then there's not a whole lot of creativity there.
Right.
And then she also mentioned there's a lot of people there that aren't comfortable with pitching their own storylines or pitching themselves on how they should be booked. And if you don't have a writing team there to be look, okay, we have your character, this is kind of where we want to go with it. Because at the end of the day, if you want to get somebody over or you want to put somebody in a prominent position, you create a plan for them and you execute that plan. You may have to tweak that plan if something, goes awry or something like that, but you create a plan, you execute. And her daughter is the one that shined the light on the representation on television. Because if the kids are watching and they don't see themselves represented or whatever on TV, yes, we have Jade Cargill running for the TBS Championship. We got Will Hobbs on TV. We got Sean Dean on TV. We got all this black talent on TV or whatever. But if just having them win on TV isn't representation,
right.
That feels very performative and very okay, we did this.
It's pandering.
It's just to shut them up, right?
Just to shut them up. But if it is if having black talent win on TV and having black talent involved in actual integral storylines within that promotion, a lot of white wrestlers are, and I just you have to call it what it is. It is what it is.
Right.
When that becomes the norm, when black talent being pushed in certain spots becomes just as normal as white talent being pushed in certain spots or whatever, then we can talk about how diverse somebody is. Right. But just because you put a black person in a role or whatever doesn't mean that you're diverse, because there has to be diversity throughout the entire company. And then I also hate how black people can shine a light on a problem and then people instantly jump to, whether they're good at what they do or not. And with that, what is it? When Cap was talking about freaking police brutality or whatever, he said he told you what he was talking about, and y'all took the narrative, changed it, and ran with that. Big Swole is talking about having diversity throughout the entire company, whether it's on a race or a race page, or if it's on between men and women. There needs to be diversity throughout the whole card. If you have a bunch of all your women on TV doing 3 to 6 minute matches or whatever, but you got the men on TV running 10, 15-minute matches. Like, there's an issue there, especially if you believe in all of the talent that you signed, which I would imagine that you would believe in all the talent.
Or an hour match, like, Danielson and
like
Hangman Page, which, right, and not to take nothing away from them either. People want to see them wrestle, but you know what I mean? You got to mix it up. And I said that my number one thing was, why wouldn't you want diversity? Diversity is great for business.
Mm-hmm.
On top of everything, and just being, as opposed to, with being fair on top of that. I'm just saying, like, yeah, it's good. It's great for business. Why wouldn't you want, like you said, these kids and their parents to be like, oh my God, I want to go see this, Mexican talent or this black talent or with such and such. You know what I mean? But it's just great for business. That's really where I stand with it. You know what I mean? And it's good for business and the company and the talent all around.
The thing that bothers me the most is when black people, because I can really only speak for black people, or because I am black. But like the thing that pisses me off the most is when we're like, yo, we need change, and we're always met with, oh, it's gonna happen. Just wait, just give it time.
Right.
I looked up because I remember Sheamus had won the WWE Championship hella quick when he debuted. That man literally came out of developmental, and it only took them 166 days to book him to be WWE champion.
Right.
And in their record books, that is one of the shortest like time frames to win a WWE championship.
Wow, that's an excellent point.
Which lets me know that if they wanted to, they would. That's what it is. If they wanted to, they would.
Right.
Because it doesn't take. It shouldn't have taken 50, 60 years for us to get here or whatever. Right. I mean, I know like WWE, they have shades of they're doing better, and then they kind of like fall back into the hole.
Right.
But when Swole said in her podcast interview, it's a script. It's what we do is scripted. It's scripted. It's what we know what it is. It's scripted. So if you're trying to tell me that I need to wait 5 years for you to build up this talent right here, when you could create a plan, if you wanted them to be champion, you create a plan and you execute. That's what it is at the end of the day. You create a plan.
Simple.
You execute.
Simple. Right.
I'll use me an example. MLW created a plan for me and they executed. Yeah, I gotta keep the fire and going or whatever.
Right,
but
put in the work, all that.
Put in the work. Me putting in work is not just a part of my song, and it's not just part of my gimmick. It's what I do. I put in work. So if they create the plan, they trust me, and we as a whole, as a team, execute or whatever. Then it's gonna work. It's gonna work.
Keyword trust.
Trust
for sure.
So like, and then I hate how a bunch of people started coming out and they're this to me or they're this to me. Like, that's cool. That's anecdotal. It's anecdotal. One, because that's your experience. And Swole didn't invalidate anybody else's experience, but everybody's invalidating her experience. That's all she's talking about. Her experience and how she sees things. And in order to, I feel like in order to be successful in this business, you have to be able to take criticism, whatever.
Absolutely.
Especially from people that are like working for you, you should be able to take criticism like for that.
Right.
You should invite that criticism. You should be like, hey, look, if you feel like we ain't doing something we're supposed to be doing, fucking tell us, bro.
Right.
Fucking tell us.
Let's make a change here.
If it was so open or whatever to have that conversation, people wouldn't have to go to social media to say something. People would just, like Hob said, oh, pick up a phone. I'm like, bro,
I got Hob's statement right here.
Like, if it was, if the environment was that grand and awesome or whatever, then yeah, I think she may have picked up the fucking phone. But then it probably would have fell on deaf ears. Like, there's I feel like what Swole said needed to be said. It needed to be said
for sure.
And I guess the last thing I'm gonna say is listen to black women, dog. Like like literally in all aspects of life, Black women be telling the world things that we need to listen to, and we just ignore them. And then later down the line, it comes back to bite us in the ass, and they're just like,
"Told you so."
we kind of told you what was going to happen. Y'all don't want to listen to us. But yeah.
Yes.
Well, hey, man, we got Alex Kane all fired up on Sunday. Happy New Year. If you're just joining us, we're live on YouTube. We're live on Instagram. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Twitch. We're at your mama's house, your grandma's house. You go check us out. And if you're missing the show, you can always catch up with us afterwards, where we'll be replayed on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all that good stuff. But anyways, we got Alex Kane, champion at MLW, joining us this morning. And we're talking about
MLW. Watch MLW. Watch MLW.
Share it.
MLW in the new year doing big things. But we're talking about a controversial subject and something that definitely needs to be addressed. I got Powerhouse Hobbs' statement right here.
That's my guy right there, too.
I personally thought that Tony Khan and what he replied, he's tone deaf. And he just started naming people. It was equivalent to a white person saying that some of my best friends are black. Yeah. It's like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, you're going to start naming, he's going to start naming a roster. Well, I got this person, we're all winning. It's like, nah, he should have just kept his mouth shut and just put the action in the product. Show it in the product, right? And then, look, Powerhouse Hobbs came out and he jumped to Tony Khan's defense in AEW. He just said, hey, I've been featured in some heavy-ass spots since being signed to AEW, as well as other minorities. Now Tony Khan has put me in spots at the right time that meant something. Then he starts naming Punk, Christian Cage, Brian Gage, Hangman, especially running in and saving Max. He's like, this company has been there since the passing of my mother. Cody and QT played tremendous part in getting me signed. Lastly, if you have an issue with me, pick up the phone. Well, he's just one dude.
Damn.
Trying to claim that AEW is the most diverse thing ever. I mean, yeah, he's getting an opportunity, but it's not like anybody put a belt on him. You know what I mean?
I mean, he lost to Orange Cassidy, and I was blown away by that. And I understand they, like you said, Alex, they got a plan. I was blown away by that, and there was things like that. And I don't know if you ever watched Wrestling Inc. Shout out. We don't mind supporting other people, other wrestling podcasts, stuff like that, whatever. But I'm a huge fan of Wrestling Inc. Huge fan of a writer that writes for Forbes magazine, Alfred Kanawa, and he's been talking about this for all the last year, talking about and he was a huge, big, swole, Powerhouse Hobbs, Jade Cargill, and he was doing videos and stuff like that on YouTube and just talking about how AEW is just not pushing the colored black or brown people. And so this has been going on for a minute.
And it also annoys when people say, oh, well, they shouldn't get pushed because they're white. Because they're black. And nobody's saying that. But when you look at the history of wrestling, really, with the absence of black talent not being put in certain positions, you've inadvertently been pushing white talent because they're white, because they're not black.
Right.
Inadvertently. When you try to say like, oh, they should be put, no one's saying that they should be pushed because they're black.
Right.
But if you want to say that you are this diverse product, you're the alternative product, like, then you gotta act. You gotta step up to the plate and be that.
Talk is cheap, man.
It really is. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't care how many wins people that look like me have had on television. I'm thinking about stories. What kind of stories are y'all involved in? Are people getting invested in these stories? Exactly,
making you care, right.
And then are these stories being built to, feuds and matches?
Right.
I don't care. I don't care. Like, as far as like the product there goes or whatever, wins and losses matter, and they do. They definitely do matter. They definitely do matter.
But a loss can, and not to cut you off, but maybe not the casual fan doesn't understand.
No,
this,
a loss can definitely still build you.
Exactly, a
loss
loss
can definitely still build you. That's all I was gonna
say.
Loss can definitely still build you.
Yep,
but like, if you all are involved in stories that are getting people invested, then
that's what you pay the fans buy the tickets for. Right. You know what I mean?
We're looking for stories.
I'm constantly saying that. Yeah,
we're not just looking for wins and losses. We're looking for stories. Like, is this gonna because the stories are what make the characters. It's not just they have cool music. It's not they have cool moves. It's not they just have a cool look. It's the stories in which you put them in. That's how you build somebody up. Like, oh man,
100. No, for sure, man, for sure. Yeah, I mean, and you know what? I was gonna say, you know what kills me? The WWE, it's like they always constantly repeat and try to show, during Black History Month, though. I'm tired of seeing that Rocky Johnson and Tony Atlas were the first tag team to win. I mean, how long ago was that shit? How many times are you gonna keep showing that shit? Let's see some new shit. I know that Ron Simmons was the first, in WCW, the first African American champion. And I know that history, but that's why it's called history. What about now? So I feel you on all them aspects, man. And I just want to say, like, when Eddie Guerrero, when he won and he got that push, I was like, oh my God, I felt like he took me as a fan. I'm a younger guy at the time. I felt like he took me with him, and I felt like I wanted the belt. Yeah, I want to get back to that, and that's why I'm a fan, such a huge fan of Powerhouse Hobbs. I was furious, and you're not supposed to get furious when you're watching wrestling. You're supposed to enjoy yourself and have fun. But when he lost to Orange Cassidy, I could not. I was like, what are they doing? What's going on over there? And I took that personal, as a Hispanic, and because let's not let's call it what it is. Us, Black and brown. We are on somewhat on the same page. We understand things. We went through our own bad parts of history ourselves. So like I like I said, that's why I support Bobby Lashley, Powerhouse Hobbs, etc. But I digress. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah. So no, I mean, you're talking about wins and losses and building momentum and really killing someone, just momentum at the same time. Big E, I totally was pissed last night, but I mean, I knew it was going to happen. I was just like, now that Brock Lesnar wins that belt, it takes all the wind out of Big E's sails. And now you totally put him back down to where, right?
But I was thinking about this morning when I woke up. I'm like, I feel like they're going to – I really don't. It doesn't need to happen, and it really doesn't need to happen. But I feel like they're probably going to try to pull some stuff where they say, "Oh, Big E's going to turn heel now," and Big E's going to blame. Wow. They're going to do the lame, like, he's going to blame the fans. And I'm sitting here this morning. I'm like, ooh, but why? The fans didn't cause this.
They don't want to.
They love him. They don't want to boo him. They didn't do anything. They didn't do anything to him.
Right. Did you think? Let me ask you a question, because I was like, when I seen Brock win, the first thing that came to my mind, and maybe it's just me thinking as a fan of this is obviously my own opinion. And Tony, maybe you can answer too. Do you think they're thinking about maybe unifying that championship?
Well, yeah, that's what Roman Reigns. Yeah, that's what Tony said before. But it's like they do this. So I don't know like the exact time frame in which and how often they do this. But let's say I think it's like every 6 to 7 years or whatever. WWE, it may actually be more time than that. They always unify the belt, and it never. I think for me personally, the only time it was ever cool is when
Jericho.
Jericho, like in the era that SmackDown Shut Your Mouth came out or whatever,
right? Where
it was SmackDown Raw, but like the Undisputed Champion was on both shows. But then superstars that were on SmackDown were only on SmackDown. Superstars that were on Raw were only on Raw.
Right.
Nowadays, like there's so much like back and forth
Yeah.
and like just like
Like,
people just
whoa, what
yeah,
is she doing
people
on
just
there?
show
What's
up on
what
shows.
the
Like it's not
right,
they love to call it like the Raw brand and the SmackDown brand, but
right,
in this day and age, they're not brands. They're the
right.
it's the same.
It
It's the
dilutes the
same
product, the
show.
brands, right,
Yeah, it's the same show. Whatever night it is, same show.
right,
It's
right.
just different colors. I hate that the sets are the same. That annoys me, but that's another topic for
Right.
another day. But like be like if as long as like because like I don't even think Kofi ever got like a rematch. Like he never got a rematch. Like every Roman
got squashed.
He's got squashed. Roman can lose a belt and get a rematch. Drew can lose the belt and get a rematch. All these other people can lose their belt and get a rematch. And it's not even like the GMs are out here, you know, like I don't even think there really are GMs anymore. But
right.
But it's not like the GMs are out here, you know, making matches and stuff like they used to do back in the day.
Yeah, they got an agenda handed to them. You know, they got either a script or whatever you want to call it.
It's like it's not even like when Stephanie and Eric were running like SmackDown and Raw and whatever, like they were actually coming out and like making it look like they was really running the show.
Changing matches, stipulations. Exactly. Right.
But like now it's like a superstar can just go to the ring and be like, oh, I want a shot at the WWE championship.
Yeah.
And you know what? Magically, from the magic hands that come down, that it just happens.
Right. And you know what? And you know what else with that is like these are little things that I noticed. You know, like Tony Schiavone, they'll be in the ring, you know, and they're holding a microphone, or Jim Ross getting ready to do an interview, and whoever's coming in to do the interview takes the mic out their hand, and then they're standing in the corner of the turnbuckle, and I'm just like, what are they even there for?
Mm-hmm.
That would never happen back in the day. You know what I mean? Those little things like that is what made wrestling what it was. You know, and it's like I'm like, yeah, they just let the talent, you know, Kenny Omega come out and get out of here, you know, beat it, I got this or whatever, make a joke, whatever. Those are the type of things that I notice as a wrestling fan. Just those little things like that. You know, you can't. That's it. Just I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't understand it.
Like I'm speaking as a fan, but like at this point, if they're gonna keep, you know, unifying the world titles, they might as well just like unify Raw and SmackDown because honestly, Raw is not Raw anymore. I've been saying this for the longest. Raw is not Raw anymore. When you used to
that's
watch,
been done.
like when you used to watch like Raw and SmackDown, like I was getting different vibes from each show. Like even though like I didn't know at the time that SmackDown was pre-taped, but SmackDown, like even though it was pre-taped, that shit, it felt live. It felt like cool. It felt new. And then like Raw felt like, you know, like gritty. Like it literally anything could happen on Raw. Like anything could happen. But now it's just like, okay, we're just gonna you know put this. We're gonna put these on TV and we don't call it a day. They need to just unify.
A surprise no more.
Yeah, nothing's a surprise. They just need to unify Raw and SmackDown. They probably need to cut the pay-per-views in half if they unify Raw and SmackDown because there won't be a need. Like having all of these pay-per-views throughout the year was cool because like you would have a Raw brand pay-per-view, you have a SmackDown brand pay-per-view, and the thing for me is the sets didn't look the same. So it didn't look like you were getting the same show with different colors. It looked like you were getting a different show and a different product.
Right.
And I remember listening to like a Paul Heyman, there was a little video. I think it was on I think I found it on TikTok or whatever. And he was saying like, you know, the Raw brand had their own writers and the SmackDown brand had their own writers. And I think Paul Heyman was doing SmackDown at the time.
Right. Him and
like Paul Heyman was doing some fire stuff. He was doing some,
and then they pulled him. Yeah,
he was doing some great stuff. I really they need if they going. I don't know, bro. They need to fix it. They need to.
And you know, and Bruce Pritchard, you know, they brought him in, and he's been there since, you know, going back to the Hogan days, you know. So, you know, I agree with you. I wish that they would have kept Paul Heyman there. Eric Bischoff as well. I mean, they just know. I don't think that they got enough time to do what they really wanted to do and what they seen the big picture, and it sucks. It sucks, So
They should unify both shows and call
yeah,
it
Smack Raw.
No, it's called Raw Smack. Call it Raw Smack.
Yeah, I like Raw Smack better.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know, man. The day one pay-per-view to me overall was not a good show. I think the Becky Lynch Liv Morgan match was pretty good, but I was hoping they would have gave the belt to Liv Morgan, but I don't know. We'll see where they go.
There's not been a Becky Lynch run where I've been like, yo, this is amazing. This is the greatest thing ever. Like, because they do this hot potato thing where they'll pass the belt around.
Perfect wording.
To what is it, Becky and Charlotte or whatever. Yeah. They'll put hot potato with it. They'll if they need,
maybe Sasha a little bit.
Yes, no,
but she had injuries too. Injuries kind of played a big role in her career. About 3-4 times.
It's really past hot potato between Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte or whatever.
Right.
They'll push somebody into the picture if the fans get behind them or whatever. Mm-hmm. They'll get what they can out of that. They'll drain that dry or whatever, and then they'll take it away and then toss it back into the pot with Charlotte, Becky, and Sasha. And
are you referring to like Toni Storm getting thrown into a thing with Charlotte and then she basically gets released?
Right. No, I wasn't talking about that, but that's also crazy. When I heard that was crazy too. But it's just like, again, you create a plan for a talent and you execute or whatever. Like Bianca shouldn't have. If she was going to lose the belt, it shouldn't have been in a squash match.
Right.
It shouldn't have been in a squash match. You guys gave her this huge push to the top, and then Becky's back from having her baby, and it's like, oh well, Bianca, we're just gonna, you're just gonna, put Becky in the spot. You did good. But you're basically saying that she was a placeholder champion. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, I hate that
with that move. With that move, is what you're saying. Like, it should have been Becky. If anything, Becky they either should have had a full match for it. Because I don't think Bianca was like. I think she was still fresh.
Right.
So
let her chase it. Let Becky chase it.
Yeah. Let her.
The fans want to cheer her. They don't want to boo her.
She should have retained that night, and then they should have kept the fucking feud going or whatever, and then actually have her if they're gonna have her drop the belt, have her drop the belt like in a meaningful way,
right?
But or if they're still gonna go with the short match shotgun thing or whatever. Have Becky have to really unload the clip on Bianca. Like Bianca's kicking out of all of her kicking out of all of her signature moves, and she finally has to bust out something new or whatever to put her down.
Right.
Well, sounds like the consensus is WWE. You got a long way to go to really showcase black talent, brown talent. AEW, Tony Khan's patting himself on the back. He's thinking, hey. I got all kinds of brown folk working here. So I think the independent scene, it's showing it. MLW, Impact Wrestling, NWA, Coast to Coast. In Texas, you got Brian Keith. I mean, you got all these wrestlers.
Reality of Wrestling, Booker T's organization.
I mean, you got all types of black and brown talent from coast to coast. But the big two now, WWE and AEW, they're not really showing it. They're not showing it yet. Maybe they throw Bobby Lashley into a mix with Brock Lesnar because people have been wanting to see that forever.
Right. Yeah, I thought about that yesterday
I hate the notion of MLW being an indie because they're not an indie. They're a wrestling company. They're not I guess monetary wise, they're not on the same level as an AEW or WWE, but they're still.
But they paid their dues.
I feel like Impact, MLW, we're still in that bracket. We're on the lower tier of that bracket. We're still in that bracket. We're separate from the independents. But yes, the independents are showing everybody that these things can be done. That these things can be done. They can be done well.
Yeah, and that's credit to all the talent.
because the independents the independents just they show it's like when somebody's talented, like you strike when the iron's hot. Strike when the iron's hot. Whatever. And like again, like I feel like the indies like right now, like we've all kind of realized like there's enough out here for everybody to eat. And like we as the talent on the independents, we have to do the job of, you know, building the next stars for the coming generations, instead of like, oh, this is my spot, I got to keep this. Like, okay, you have your spot, you built up your name, you continue to build up your name. But if you see somebody coming along that like, yo, this person is raw, this person, you know, this person is next up, then you bring them up with you and be like, yo, we're gonna put you up here, dog. That's what it needs to be.
I think we still got a long way to go, but I think 2022 is going to be a great year for pushing all these.
It will continue the renaissance.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think 2022 is going to be a huge year for a lot of breakout stars. I think the big promotions, you know, hopefully they can kind of get their shit together and really show they can be diverse. But, you know, we definitely need to be, you know, there needs to be a better portrayal of people of color on, you know, AEW and WWE. So we'll see what happens.
Like what you're saying, like if the majority of people can see that the diversity isn't actually there, or it's not there yet, you're working on it, you're getting there, but you're not there yet, or whatever, then you have work to do. And that's fine. That's okay. Everything is a work in progress. You don't have, just because you think that you're perfect doesn't mean that you're perfect. And like, being critical of, you know, the place that you work, or being critical of where you live or whatever, like those two ideas, they draw parallels. You should be able to be constructively critical of where you work and where you live, whether that be your country or in your home, I guess. I don't fucking know, but especially like in your country, you should be able to be like constructively critical about where you're at. And that shouldn't be frowned upon. That shouldn't make you lose your job. That shouldn't stop you from working somewhere. Like none of that or whatever. Like, because that's the only, like, we're always told that these young guys on the independents that the only way to get better is to get critiques, get criticism, or whatever, and then change, and then like adapt to, you know, that criticism, and then change. And that advice right there applies to everything on this planet. Like no one's perfect.
We shouldn't be labeled, you know, or you shouldn't be labeled, and you know that is what it is. You know, it shouldn't be like that.
You should want to leave the wrestling business better than you found it. That's all we're all really trying to do.
That's what it's all about.
Trying to move the progress and the progression of professional wrestling forward. That's what we're trying to do, and nobody should be shamed for doing so. You should applaud them for doing so.
Absolutely. So, in your opinion, Alex, where do you think we might see Big Swole show up?
It'd be dope to have her in MLW. You know, because we're building a women's division. That'd be cool. She'd be a nice, strong force in there, in the ring, and definitely like in the locker room, because I know she's got, you know, years of experience and years of knowledge, and she could dump on all of us. But I mean, it would be cool. I mean, if she wants to, you know, go somewhere else, it'd be cool to see her literally anywhere. Wherever she goes, I would like for wherever she goes for it not to disturb her peace. I'd like for her to, wherever she goes, wherever she does, for her to be peaceful. That's bottom line. It's the biggest thing.
Be happy.
Well, Happy New Year. First show 2022. Alex Kane from MLW joining us this morning, and we're having a great conversation, man. I love having.
You know what's funny? I think we have talked about me, but like with everything going on in wrestling, I think we talked more about everything going on in wrestling than myself, which I'm fine with, because I will gladly talk about myself.
Yeah, it's bigger, and that shows your character, man. It's bigger than one person, whether it's you or anybody else. You know what I mean? And like you said, you want to leave the wrestling business better at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
that says a lot about your character for sure, in my opinion. So,
And for the people.
right.
So, Alex, tell us about this year. I know you talked about a few shows coming up. Is there something that you're really excited, looking forward to? I know some of the parts of the country are starting to shut down again because of COVID and taking precautions. You know, with MLW and yourself, you know, is MLW making any big changes, or they're kind of just keeping the way things are going right now? What are you kind of seeing?
I don't really know what changes MLW is making. I'm not in the office like that, but I guess as far as like myself, I'm excited to, you know, hopefully like things don't get shut down too bad or for too long, because I may have a shot at going to Canada. Can't tell you with who or when or where, but like, or I guess I told you where, but. But
well,
like,
you gotta give us an exclusive, man. You gotta give it. You gotta drop it.
No. I can't give you an exclusive because it ain't even fully ironed out for myself. But like, I just want to this year, like have my passport. Like, I want to wrestle more internationally. Like, I want to go to UK. I want to go to Canada.
Spread your wings, man.
I want to go back to Mexico. Like, the Crash was amazing. That was like. Well, that was one of my like most favorite experiences of wrestling so far, other than, you know, becoming a national openweight champion. Because in Mexico, like, the fans are there to enjoy the wrestling. They're not there to, you know, tell somebody, oh, you messed up. They're not. They're there. They respect professional wrestling. They respect the performers, and, you know, they will act accordingly. Like, if you're a heel out there, they will tell you that your mother is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They'll talk all kinds of shit about you or whatever. But like even though like they're like I guess in front of the curtain it's mad disrespectful, but like they get into the show,
right?
And then like watching, like I guess like standing on the apron and like watching as a fan, like because I'm in character, but like I'm also like watching it,
right?
Like, as a,
You're just
as a
so
fan.
invested,
Invested into it,
kind of like New Japan wrestling.
Yeah,
somewhat,
like,
you know?
you'll when you watch the MLW Azteca, like you'll see how I'm acting like out there or whatever. But like in my mind as a fan, like watching this, like being in Mexico, like being around with all this, watching this lucha libre, like actually like seeing like good actual lucha libre like up close and personal. Like it's so smooth, it's so like cool, and like. And thinking in my mind, like, bro, like I'm really like here in front of like 5,000 people, like soaking it in, like literally doing the one thing that I've always wanted to do with my life. Like I remember I was talking to my dad one time about it, and like I think like when I told my parents like this is what I wanted to do with my life, like they kind of knew like I was going to do it and I was going to be good at it. But like I'm sitting here talking, I start crying because like this is again, this is all I've ever wanted to do with my life. Like
I love that post of you that you posted of you as a little kid.
Yeah. I just seen that. Yeah.
And like I did have people telling me like, oh, you'll never make it, or oh, you won't be this and that and the third or whatever. And like to, you know, be doing it, to be at such a high level in such a short amount of time, like It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. You get that feeling. You just gave me some goosebumps, but that's the passion. That's the passion. I love it.
You talked about wrestling in Mexico and then like wanting to wrestle in the UK. Where have you wrestled internationally besides Mexico? And are you looking at like Japan? And where do you like?
I would love to go to Japan. I think MLW has some connections to places in Japan. They have some few international contacts that I will be trying to use. But other than Mexico, I haven't wrestled anywhere else internationally. But I would like to expand that portfolio coming into 2022.
Yeah, I mean, shit, man, wrestling is just huge all around the world. You talk about the wrestling fans in Mexico, you know, in Japan, they got a whole different type of wrestling fan, but they definitely respect wrestling as a sport. And it just, man, I'm so jealous. That would just be so awesome, just kind of wrestling all around the world in front of all different types of fans, really kind of just broadening just your perspective on things. And it is cool that you're a lifelong wrestling fan, because you talk to some wrestlers like, well, we only got into this a couple years ago. I didn't really watch wrestling before, but
oh my god, that breaks my heart.
yeah, you see it in someone like yourself that, like, to me, I'm a lifelong wrestling fan, passionate about wrestling, and for someone like yourself who's a lifelong wrestling fan and now a professional wrestler, it just comes out in your craft. You know what I mean?
It does. You can definitely
better performer.
You can definitely tell who watched professional wrestling growing up and who didn't.
Right.
You can really watch it in all aspects. Like when I first started, when I first started training, like I'd referee for like the school shows that we had. Like when some people are at the school now and they're doing like the referee stuff and they're not like on the count, or they're not, they're not like.
It's a job to them, and
it's a job to them.
Paycheck.
It's not even that. It's not even a job or a paycheck. They're just like they don't get it. Like
right.
Like being a referee is difficult, definitely difficult. But like if you literally at the training level, if you literally mimic. Like when you're first learning, if you literally just mimic what they do on TV or whatever, you're gonna save yourself a lot of heartache. And then like as a wrestler, like at the beginning you don't understand like the psychology and stuff like that, but like I think watching it like as a kid, like I don't really know how to explain it, but it does come out like
take those little things, like
like it definitely comes out in like how you present yourself and how you perform, other than just oh, this seemed cool, I'll just do this.
Right.
So Alex, like your first big show that you ever had, being a lifelong wrestling fan, a little kid, did you feel like a little kid coming from behind the curtain and you're like your first big show and like, wow, like this is like, what's that feel like?
Are you talking about like when like all the lights are on and like the show's going on?
Yeah. What's going through your mind?
Is it adrenaline through the roof? Really kind of block shit out? Like, what does that feel like? Kind of going through that.
The first when I walked on stage at the 2300 Arena for my like MLW debut.
Right. Yep.
I was so nervous, like going like all day. Like the day before that, I couldn't sleep. The day before my flight, I couldn't sleep, and then like all day, like just getting ready to like do the damn
anxiety,
thing.
Man.
Like I was anxious. I was nervous. Like I'm over here telling anybody that would listen that I'm nervous and I'm anxious. And, people there, whatever, that have been there for a minute or whatever, they're talking me down off the ledge. But like when I heard, like when I was walking up on stage and I heard my music or whatever, and I'm walking out, like I'm looking out into the crowd, I'm like, all these people are here to see all of us, do the thing that we love to do. And like I felt at home. I really did. I felt at home. I felt this is where I'm supposed to be. Like on a stage, like this is where I'm supposed to. And it was definitely like a beautiful feeling. And I hope that everybody that does this, gets to feel that. And I feel it every single time I walk through a curtain. Like I'm living my dream right now. Like not a lot of people in this world, really get to say that. A lot of people don't like follow their dream or do. So doing at such a high level in such a short amount of time is like, man, like hard work. Really, that was literally my my senior will and testament was hard work pays off. And I mean, now as an adult, like I understand, like in every aspect, it's not necessarily true, but like as far as like your dreams and stuff goes or whatever, especially as long as somebody like gives you an opportunity, or you can find a way to like earn that opportunity. Someone gives you a chance to earn an opportunity, or you earn it, or someone gives you an opportunity. Like your hard work in that instance will definitely pay off.
Right, like they say, grab that brass ring.
Yeah, grab the brass ring. Sometimes the brass ring is real. Sometimes it's real.
Right.
But the other times it's
Sure.
not. But definitely, I think as long as you have like a good like team and stuff, like and a good office behind you, a good machine behind you, or whatever, the brass ring is very real.
Well, that's awesome, man. Hey, joining us today, Alex Kane from MLW. Alex, so you just got engaged to become married. Congratulations!
Yes, I did.
Congratulations, man.
I proposed on December 28th. But but we just announced it and everything.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe she took a few days to let you know the answer.
No, oh my God. Oh no. If she would have taken a few days to answer,
he's like, I'll let you know next year.
I'll let him sweat it out. Right.
Yeah, we would have had to have a whole other conversation.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, she's like a power lifter, right? I saw on your Instagram.
Yeah. She's a power lifter. She's a national champion actually. In her league.
Well, that's awesome.
She had a bunch of gold medals and stuff.
Has she checked you out live, watching you live wrestle?
She hasn't been like an MLW show, but like some of like my indie shows that she can make, she'll definitely come and watch me wrestle. She's not a wrestling fan in her own right.
I was gonna ask, is she getting that itch or no?
No, she's not. She's definitely not. She she fully enjoys watching me wrestle. But like she didn't grow up watching wrestling. She's originally from Germany, and I don't know how big wrestling is there. Like mainstream wrestling is there in Germany. I know there's wrestling over there, but like she didn't grow up watching it. Or maybe she wasn't allowed. Were you not allowed? She never came into like watching wrestling. But like the cool thing now is like because I talk about wrestling so much. And like I've kind of like once you tell somebody that watching a movie or watching a TV show episode is like watching a wrestling match, you can never like unsee it like that. So now she watches any movie that we're watching within the context of
and she incorporates that
So she'll be like, okay, they're shining right now. Oh, there's the cutoff. Oh, we're in heat. Oh, they're making a comeback. Oh no, they're about to make a comeback. Oh no,
that's awesome,
it's the cutest shit ever.
Yeah, that's dope.
Well, congratulations, man. When you get married, when's the big date?
Bro, we don't have a date yet.
No date.
Don't have a date yet. No date yet. There's no rush.
Right.
He's like, I got matches to wrestle. I got titles to win.
The first step,
titles to win, and money to make.
Yeah, the first step was her saying yes.
There you go. You're like, we'll tackle the rest later.
Yeah.
So, Alex, tell us where to find you on Instagram, Facebook. You got a YouTube channel. Tell our fans where we
have a YouTube channel, which I really do need to put more time into growing. But it's just Alex Kane on YouTube. I do need to upload some more matches on there. I might probably do that today. Twitter is Alex_Kane11. TikTok is the real Alex Kane 1.
TikTok. So what's Alex Kane doing on TikTok?
Alex Kane it's a bunch of stuff. Like I'm a firm believer in that you don't have to be in gimmick all the time. Like, be a real person. That's like when I was a kid, like that's what I was interested in. I wanted to know what the hell Triple H did on his off days. I wanted to know as a little kid, does Triple H go to church? What does Triple H believe in? What do these people do in their personal lives?
Right.
And like now, like I'm not gonna go try to like figure it out. But like I always want to know like what was Stone Cold Steve Austin's workout routine?
Right.
Like,
and you know what? And you know what, Alex? We used to, back in the day, this is like 99, when the WWE.com, they would have, me and my cousin would go on there after the Raw show during the Attitude Era, and they would put some news, if Jericho got into a fight, in the back or anything like that. They would put some news on there, and that's what we wanted to know. We wanted to know what was going on behind the curtain.
Yeah,
I feel that.
I was more interested in what was going on behind the curtain than what was going on in front of the curtain. Like, I'll go back and watch some of the Attitude Era shows, and I'll literally skip to all the backstage segments just to see what happened.
Right.
But yeah.
So is Alex Kane doing dances on TikTok? Is that what you're telling us?
I've done about two. I think I've done about 2 dances on there. But like I'm on there, to have
doing
fun
some
just like
stuff with your
everybody else.
significant other? You guys doing,
We're
what is that one where the your girlfriend or wife is climbing on you and going all the way around? Like I seen Randy Orton do that.
I've seen that,
You know what I
but
mean?
my
Or
girlface is jacked,
or
and
I was just saying, are
I'm
you the
also
one
jacked.
climbing over her? Or
I
what?
might,
You know
we
what I
might
mean?
actually do that. I might do the climbing challenge thing on you. We'll see if you have enough balance. But TikTok, TikTok is the real Alex Kane. Instagram is the real Alex Kane 1, because apparently you have to have numbers in your names now. I said Twitter. My merchandise is on Brainbuster Tees.
There you go.
.com.
Sweet.
Facebook.
You get that logo? Is that you got it? My T-shirts on that website?
Yes, I do. I do have that logo on.
Yeah, I got to get
t-shirts.
one of those, man. That's
that color, and I think I
dope.
have it in black, and I think I have it in white also. But if I don't, somebody let me know. What other social media stuff do I have? I think that's it: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Yeah.
Right. I got a question for you.
Yes.
Mocha Traps.
Mocha Traps.
I gotta know who this guy is, because is he a manager of some type, or
he is he's my heater. He's also my teammate and my friend.
Awesome.
I had to do some Googling and stuff or whatever, because he said that he wrestled for Shakara when I met him, and I was like, but who was he on Shakara? He was Blaster McMassive on Shakara.
Wow.
He was Blaster McMassive.
Yeah, he looks like I don't know. Like he looks like a beast, man. I mean, he looks like, I was just like, wow, who is this guy? Because like you said, he looks like a heater.
I definitely can't wait to take over the tag team division with him.
Damn,
the Boomaye Fight Club is coming for all of the gold.
Right. We taking over.
We taking over. If MLW gets a women's championship, I'm gonna recruit. I'm gonna try to recruit a young Jordan Blade to be in the Boomaye Fight Club, and we're gonna take that division too. We taking all of the gold.
Taking over.
I mean,
taking over MLW.
So you're coming for the tag team belts.
Love it.
The question is, who's next to come for your belt?
Bro, anybody who wants this work.
Or try.
Anybody who wants this work. I don't care who you are. I don't care how big you are, small you are, tall, short, don't matter. Right. When it's all said and done, it'll be 1, 2, 3, and you'll hear the mission is submission.
The question is, man, where is the belt? Where's the belt?
Man, I don't even have that on. We need to have it on us.
Oh,
that's the only sad part.
You're one of those talents that you don't need it, but you're gonna take them anyways. So
I don't need to have
put them up on the trophy case and just keep it moving.
Exactly.
So you don't want to hear about Alex Kane losing a belt somewhere in the airport, right? Because somebody
seriously, on like a business side of things, that'd be fucking terrible. Like that'd be a nightmare. I don't need.
Let's not manifest that.
Yeah, I don't need that. I don't need that type of responsibility.
Well, it's funny when you hear about that. You hear about wrestlers losing belts or wrestlers getting their ring.
When Evolve was still around, we were in Chicago, and I think it was Walter and Timothy Thatcher came to Evolve, and somebody in Chicago, literally stole the UK championship, the United Kingdom championship. Somebody stole it.
No,
somebody stole that belt.
That's crazy.
So
crazy, man.
Yeah, that shit is nuts. I don't think they ever got it back. I think they had to make a new one.
Wow, are you serious? That's crazy,
for a while they had like a replica belt. I think he was carrying.
And they went to Target and bought one of the little plastic belts.
No, they didn't do that. That would have been embarrassing. That would have been embarrassing. But someone stole the belt, bro. That shit was crazy.
That's insane, man.
Well, Alex Kane, man, we thank you so much for joining us on the first show of 2022. Love to have you back on, man. When you're getting the tag team belts, coming after the world title, or you going after Hammerstone?
Definitely going after Hammerstone. I don't know why. I don't know what's all of this like scare around going for Hammerstone. Like he's jacked, cool, great, fucking awesome. You know what he also, you know what he has, what he does have? He bleeds red and he has bummy ankles. and I'm coming for them damn ankles.
Well, you heard it here first, man. Alex Kane calling out Hammerstone. He's coming for the world title, coming for the tag team titles. He's recruiting to get the women's titles. I mean,
I'm coming for everything.
So it sounds like you're trying to build a faction in MLW.
Ooh. That's what the Bootmaya Fight Club is. It's essentially a faction. Yes, I'm trying to build a faction. I'm trying to build a kingdom. I'm trying to build an empire. Like, when it's all said and done, I'm gonna leave my mark on MLW. Y'all gonna know I was here.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
I'm glad we had you here today, man. Yeah,
we're excited.
Appreciate you taking the time.
We can't wait to see all the titles you're winning. Love to have you back on again. I already heard that we got an ATW shirt going out to you for some reason.
Yes. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I just want to rock it. So, that MLW hat's pretty sick.
No, thank you. It's one of my favorite gets from MLW, other than the hoodie. And when I get that 2 mics in 1 ring shirt, if I can wear it to the ring, I will.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
so
man.
We got to make sure. For sure, we got Alex Kane his own ATW shirt and maybe a hat too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, Alex, I appreciate you joining us on the show today, man. It was a pleasure to have you. Got into some real serious talks, and I mean, I love talking about stuff like that, shit that's real. You know what I mean? Yep. You know, we all know, like you said, wrestling scripted and this and that, but hey, you got real people, you got real issues, real world issues in the wrestling world.
Right.
So, hey, it was great having you on. We'd love to have you on anytime, man. Anytime.
Yeah, come back whenever you're ready, man. Congratulations on the engagement once again, and
thank you.
Yep.
All right, Alex. Well, thanks for coming on, man. And hey, check out the show. Find Alex Kane, the real Alex Kane 1 on Instagram, and it sounds like he's doing TikTok dances and all that.
And make sure you tune in to MLW.
Yes, watch MLW.
Yeah. For sure, man.
Well, thanks, Alex, for joining us, man. You have yourself a happy New Year and have a good weekend.
Yes, sir.
God bless
you too.
Bro. God bless you.
God bless.
Man.
That
was it, man. That was awesome.
Man, that made my year right there. I mean, damn, you don't, like you said, there ain't too many talents that have that type of passion that he does, and
yeah, I love it.
Amazing to have him on the show. So.
Well, hey, man, this was a great way to kick off the new year. Alex Kane, MLW champion. I don't know about you, man. I need a nap.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely I'm gonna take my shirt off, hang it up, get comfortable. I guess turn on the Lions game. I don't know. I might just fall asleep to it. It's like reading a book, watching the Lions game. So. Yeah, for sure, man. But yeah, you have a blessed day as well, man. Happy New Year to you once again.
Hey, Happy New Year to you. I'm your host, Tony Twist. You can catch me at ATW_Tony_Twist. Alex B, the Sports Mouth 313. Hey, Happy New Year and happy Sunday, and we're out of here.